Alright, Silver Junglers, Viego versus Volibear. Let's see what goes down. Basically a straight rush at the Viego's face. You know, the reason you watch this entrance is so that when you see them arriving, you can actually distance yourself earlier and, you know, go ahead and leave a ward. Aatrox decides to go back in. Is he him? Is he him? Let's find out. It turns out he's not. So, Zag gets the first kill, top lane Zag with the Volibear invade. Now, most people in Silver are saying, okay, well, this happens every game. Which is why in all of my content I tell you guys to not do this. Just don't coin flip the invades yourself. And if you decide to watch against these invades, as long as you get out, that's great. You know, you shouldn't lose your flash ever. You know, I'm sitting in the bush, I see them coming, I ward, I walk away. End of story. I do not coin flip any fight whatsoever that might ruin all of my tempo. Now, the Viego has lost his flash, but he is starting down on the red on time. Volibear is going to be starting on the Raptors here without basing. And let's see how that affects his overall movement. Early wards here from the Namis is better level 1 vision control than you'd see in a high elo game at this particular stage. Although I don't think... When you go to a restaurant, I wish upon you the service that this Victor has given to Viego. And myself, I would like to see that service one time. Yeah, ridiculous. He doesn't need to help you whatsoever there. In fact, I prefer to be leashless so that they don't see what I'm doing. Volibear here now, smiting on the second red. Remember, you want to use your W2 as maximum as possible, just to get that super heal. Aatrox is now fighting the Zac. We're looking down bottom lane. We got Fish here, and Lucian versus Cheese. Well, on a level 0, plays Twitch support in Silver. What else can you expect? So overall, this game looks a little bit interesting thus far, but no game anymore is over after First Blood like this. It just isn't so. Especially, you know, obviously the Zac has gone back to base and he has this advantage. So I expect top lane to swing into Zac's direction, no stress. But Viego's pathing that way, and, you know, the Volibear hasn't shown up yet, so I assume he's pathing all the way down. And our Victor will scale. So basically, from a Silver perspective, much like how I cover a lot in the private content, and worth noting, I am, in fact, doing the Season 14 roundabouts and all the courses, and I've just recorded the Silver one, and basically, the biggest thing I can tell you from that as a summary, like a little tease, is that junglers just aren't involved as much as they need to be. And they have a lot of opportunities to do so. Look at this. Like, why would you even start your blue in this particular situation? If you're looking at this, why would you start your blue as a Silver jungler, as any jungler from any rank, on any planet, of any species? Just go ahead and look top and say, make a weird noise and go and gank this sucker, right? Dude got no flash, he used it, and literally, we're freeze framing in the flash. F key, click, look. So while most people be like, guys, my advice to you as a coach is to full clear in Silver, fuck him. Don't go there. Don't go here. Worry only about yourself. That's not right. Not right. You can easily get just like, don't think of it as I'm helping Aatrox. Think of it as you're helping yourself. And you're helping Aatrox. And when that happens, good things happen. Especially if you know the Volibear is going on the other side. So the low elo cliche coaching of just AFK bomb, take a side lane. No, man, no. Play the game in the way it's meant to be played, with efficiency, and you'll always get fed. You'll always have 7 CS per minute. Maybe a little lower on certain champions, but the idea is, if I can mesh my farm with my ganking, with my tempo control of the enemy jungler, and deny them access to all the stuff I'm doing, you'll win every game you play. Now, Aatrox goes ahead and does this, and you're going to say, see, he can do it himself. Do you honestly expect me to believe you trust a Silver jungler to go ahead, a Silver top laner, excuse me, to go ahead and solo kill his top laner and actually run away with that lead? Because I don't trust that. And now Volibear does what we expect Volibear to do here. Obviously, no flash on the Twitch, and the Draven uses his cleanse and doesn't respect flash that, so he dies. Not the best angle of approach, but I like this principle, right? Full clear, look for the gank. If it's there, do it. Otherwise, you can do the crab first and then the gank. Viego does exactly the same thing. The problem is, case in point, we missed the opportunity to trigger that passive, to maybe get a better dive off, to maybe kill him with that passive. And I think 100%, if you guys do that correctly, he did it by himself, you can go over the wall there and actually get those kills. And this is the thing that we're talking about from a jungle perspective. Full clear is the baseline. See, yes, that's what you do. But if you see something you can react to with a high possibility for kills, 80%, do it, please. Learn to understand that judgment ratio and make sure you are actually getting on the map and getting those kills. See, now we miss out Q. Mechanically, you've got to hit your spells, but, you know, you're trying to fight a Zac here in a minion wave, and remember, minions do a shit ton of damage, a lot of damage early on. It's a lot of AD that you're just absorbing while trying to fight a Zac who's just going to heal up. The Volibear does the cringe and goes with the Blasting Wand. Just go Dark Seal. Build regular. Don't think so far out the box you forgot what was in it. And remember, you guys, a lot of you are saying, well, we're testing. You don't need to test a square wheel. Square wheel doesn't work. Someone did that already. So there's realms of testing that make sense, and then there's just being ridiculous. And I think a lot of people think they're being ridiculous. Just in Silver, minimize variables that compromise your wins. All right, now the Volibear might damn well win this game with AP, and everyone will be like, wow, it's OP. No, a good team will be able to punish that greatly. So I like the full clear into the gank from Volibear's perspective. I like the level 1, that's great. Aatrox kills the Zac. The Viego is the one I have an issue with because we didn't cut our clear out. And, you know, these aren't big things what we're witnessing, but it's 5:30, and you really ought to have finished your second respawn camp already while having a gank, while being level 5. The Volibear is doing a solid job of that. I fully expect the 5 minutes junglers to be 36 CS with a gank off, with a crab, doing the grubs, if that's what they want to do. The Viego is not in a position to do that because he did his full clear when he shouldn't have, wasted too much time, compromised himself, and now he's lagging behind. And now the Volibear is doing what I said, you know, is cliche and you shouldn't always do, which is full clear, gank, and do this. This is the baseline. What I'm saying is, if there's stuff you can do it. In this case, he waited too long, and it became stuff he couldn't do. And that's the problem. It looked good when he was doing the blue and the grub, and then it wasn't good when he went to the top lane. So far, though, I really like the Volibear's baseline execution, though. You know, full clear, gank, scuttle, back to base, over here. Now, you could do this quadrant into the grubs, but if the timing works out, you can do the Krugs level 5 into the grubs, knowing that the Viego's going to be on the bottom side, because that's where he started. Then by all means, do the grubs and then snack this on your way. If you haven't done it, but ideally you do both before. And now, obviously, we can go to the bottom lane instead of full clearing finishing, because we think we see something. And this is important again as well. You do a flash up, you got your full combo. We're maxing E because we're going AP. Draven's going to straight flash that way. Volibear's going to full combo onto the Twitch. One more. That's why you also don't build AP, because if you just hit a 3-point Q, or you have 3 points in W, you get a second proc on the W, you will 100% kill that Twitch. And that's the problem of building AP. So instead of killing him and getting out and taking the Scuttle studying the Dragon, while Viego coin flips everything on the top side, we're dead. And again, we should have definitely killed him, but I think he canceled an auto and just didn't expect to die. I don't know why. Now he's leaving the base and rotating straight to this mid lane gank as Yasuo hits a nice Q onto the Victor. Will die for it. Nice auto attack Q from the... the Q is unnecessary. From the Viego. Now the Volibear is here. He's going to push this and get level 6. See what they're doing. They're just going to go straight at each other like it's Gladiator. I mean, the problem with this Viego, my good sir, is that you are countered by Volibear. Alright. And... he's gone back to base, and you have 1,000 gold in your pocket. So is this really the decision you should be making from the blue team's perspective? No. Yes, he's AP. But what does that mean from an AP Volibear perspective when you press tab and you see that? It means his all-in with Alt-E and passive is massive. Huge. So from Viego's perspective, you have to respect this and know that he's gone back to base. Now Draven's chasing down the Nami, and you can always say, this is the bottom lane you guys know, right? When you guys are playing Viego, you know this is your bottom lane here. They're just running it down, terrible decisions, and they keep coin flipping until they win. I had that the other day in a coaching session with a Silver Jungler, live coaching, and we spoke about it because he's in the course private Discord as well. And he basically was playing the game, wasn't going so well for him. His Draven was just, it looked like he was running it down, but he honestly was just trying to get his passive and trying to get fed and trying to get a shutdown. Who knows? But we won that game. He was 1-7-1 when we won the game. It doesn't really matter in those situations because you're able to control a lot of the scenarios. But in this particular case, he is actually running it down. So we're going to cut to a second game. Don't worry, we're going to cut to a second game. What I just wanted to kind of talk about a little bit was the fact that the Viego missed this opportunity here. Volibear impacted bottom lane. Viego didn't really get going, and I think that's a very big problem for Silver Junglers, and I guarantee you we'll see it in this next game as well. Okay, so as you can see, we are now in the next game. Sorry about that one. It happens sometimes, but I won't cover a game where someone's actively trolling. The Briar decides to start on the red with a leash. The Fiddlesticks decides, I thought that was a fiddle, to start on the blue with a leash. I don't really think we need to be doing that, but let's see if we have the same sort of effect, right? So, Briar is more like Viego. We can full clear, we can quadrant clear gank. The Fiddlesticks is more like how the Volibear played in terms of full clearing, but obviously he is literally a full clearing jungler. Orianna versus Anivia, tough lane, Fiora versus Aatrox. Also, a little bit interesting. Now, this is where things get spicy because I can see the kill map, the kill timeline, and you cannot. That's always, I like to hide it because I don't want you guys to look ahead and be like, you see? You get to results based on why you're thinking, and I prefer to set these up more like coaching experiments for you as well, to test your knowledge as you see things on the map and to see how you understand the game. The Briar here, I don't think I'm necessarily compromising myself on the gank mid lane. I do think with an auto shove lane like this taking a leash, I'm kind of happy to loop back around, knowing the fiddle's going up, trying to get a kill here onto this lane. It's not the best lane to necessarily gank, but I do feel like the Tristana is liable to all in, and as a Briar, I'm going to be here to cut that off, right? Now, the fiddle's going to full sequence up. He's not going to vertical jungle me. I'm going to go straight back to base protected. If I get a kill on someone, I'll already have some items, some juicy ones, and he will lose. If you think you can impact this coin flippy lane up here, Aatrox vs Fiora, then please don't finish your full clear, much like the Viego. Look to do something about it. She's going to go do her grub after the wolves, which I think is great, but I also think here you could, in theory, look to do something as the Aatrox is going to hit level 3. So this is a massive, massive wave, and thus we can kind of chill, do our camps, and wait for the Aatrox to thin that out. But the Fiora does a really remarkable thing, which is, look, huge crash, I'm going to go back to base and not die to the gank. So Briar, now we don't have to flex that like the Viego did. It's going to come down to a coin flip on the Scuttlecrab, and I love this. You know he's full clearing up, you know he's going to loop around the top side, so push it down away from him. Always tell you guys here to push it down away from him. Great ward from the Orianna. She's now walking into a face check zone. We dodged that, very, very nice. We could think, I honestly would think about turning on that. I don't think I would have full commit, but I would have tried to do something. See, Fiddle can just silence and fear, but you know what I mean? Like, I would try something on the Orianna here. Problem is, her Fog of War gap here is pretty solid, but everybody kind of knows what's going to happen. We can see the pet also warding over the wall, and now we're thinking about fighting over the Scuttlecrab. I think the Fiddle is being a little greedy here, because bottom lane in theory has pressure, and the Seraphine has died twice. Tristan has also died, so bottom lane did a good job. But a bottom lane is very clearly not rotating, and the Tristan has nothing else to do because she's backed up. So if you're the Briar, you do have to pay attention to this and understand, can I even kill the Fiddlesticks? And at this particular stage, nope. Force the flash. Red buff tick. Force the rotation. Yeah, interesting. That's why we talk about a lot in Silver. Do I know if I can kill the enemy jungler or not? Question mark. And sometimes it's because of matchups, and sometimes it's because you are not mechanically good enough. And you really have to find that limit. That's why I like to tell Silver junglers, when you don't know, and if you're in doubt, yeah, it's safer to back away and just give him up, give up that Scuttlecrab. Sure, that's a safer play. But the learning play is to see what you can do, and as long as you survive, it's okay. Just pay attention to your Tristana, your bottom lane's winning, the Fiddlesticks is translating over, obviously we see this. Tristana jumps in here, Flash is committed, that is a silence, and hopefully, but nothing. And now Briar is rotating over, and unfortunately, I think it's gonna be a little bit too late. The Fiddle's chasing here, looking for the Briar. I'm not 100% sold on investing that amount of time. I'd rather hit the plant to see what's up. And then obviously you can think about taking your quadrant and carrying on your sequencing rather than going on an adventure. Does work out for us, but that's results-based as always. There's pings on the dragon for some particular reason, but even if the Fiddlesticks is on the dragon here, we're not really interested in doing that, are we? I think doing this quadrant and thinking about all of this stuff here is the best way to go. The Aatrox and Fiora have not killed each other, 26 CS only in the Aatrox. Let's see how we develop. The Fiddle hasn't based yet. When you saw him, there were multiple options. He either bases immediately, goes topside, goes to finish his quadrant here, and then goes back to base and then goes topside, or stays out even more and goes topside again. And in this particular case, this is classic. We had this in the Diamond video. Go ahead and gank, like you can see the wave. You can see she's 6. You can see the body language. She's no longer thinking about you. this is where you need to rotate rather than doing the grubs. Don't go do the grubs right now. Go and kill this Fiora, get yourself some experience and get fed. You can see she's trying, she's going into, this should be a dead Fiora right now, 100%. They don't need the 6 from the Aatrox. You're doing this, the Fiddlesticks here isn't even thinking about the grubs. The Fiora is super duper low. If she lives, I'm going to be infuriated. No. Oh. Oh my god. This is just the hack room thing all over again. It's the exact same damn thing. What on earth are we looking at here, ladies and gentlemen, that we really need these grubs? I mean, worst case, you can take one grub and a visual glitch on the shields. I don't know why. It's a replay thing. You know, you can go ahead and just kill it right here. Because you know the Fiddle, if he hasn't shown, isn't really going to do this. And again, we don't know what the Fiddle's doing. He's either resetting, sequencing up, resetting, sequencing down, doing this and basing, or doing this and keeping going. And if he's keeping going, then he's not in a position to really do much. And the Fiora shows up, and obviously the Fiora is disgusting. I get it. But so is Briar a little bit disgusting. I get it. But in this particular case, that's not the best move from the Briar, and it's obviously a little bit silly. Can the AA Ron save the day? He's not going to flash, he's not going to ult, he's not going to use anything apparently, he's just going to walk slowly at her and miss, and now he's in the buttons and then space-time. What the living god. The thing is, the Fiddlesticks though has not based, and also I don't like that as well. I need to refresh my mental. Single malt 21, Space Side, Highlands. If anyone has one lying around, I need it after watching that. And now she goes straight out of base to the top side grubs. And the Fiddlesticks is on the bottom side doing this free Scuttle Crab. This is wild. Very wild. Don't ever stay out this long. Don't ever ignore the map to this degree. And it shows again the Viegos, for the previous example, sitting in the brush, sitting in the jungle, doing your camps, going top lane, missing the opportunity, doing this, missing the opportunity. The Fiddlesticks staying out way too long, avoiding any opportunity by not really being in the game. He's on the game, not in the game. He's driving an SUV. He's not driving a sports car. And there's only one real driving. It's not the SUV. Right? Like bus drivers. So, basically, how do you fix this, though? How do you fix this as a silver jungler? How do you make yourself be involved in the games again? Or for the first time? How do you make it so that Jelena's on the inting? How do you make it so that you get fed? First and foremost, please, don't obsess over objectives to the degree where I see people fighting and fisting fights that they shouldn't take and ignoring situations where they can kill first, then objective for free, versus objective, miss something, you either die, even if you get it here and the Fiora escapes, it's a huge loss to your top laner. Definitely could have impacted hugely there, taken this, and had a much better game. And now we've wasted so much time, we've lost about 2 minutes probably of plays, and the Fiddlesticks has gone back to base finally, but hasn't done the dragon, hasn't really done anything, and is not using his level 6. Think about your 6 spike in silver, yeah? If you're a silver player, whether you're a Fiddlesticks, a Kane, or anything like that, think about your 6 spike. Try and use it. The Volibear there used it all on the Viego, and the Viego wasn't thinking about the level 6 spike. You know, he's behind an itemization, and he just went for the trade mid lane and died. Fiddlesticks here does use it on the Aatrox, who will actually use his ult now. And, you know, the angle there wasn't the best. Here, I know this wall's thick, but look at the fog of war you have. You can walk all the way up to here and get a better ult and now stick to him. Even though he E's or ults or whatever, you can still stick to him and keep sucking his soul away. Briar, in the meantime, decides to go back to base here to buy plated steel caps and a longsword. Guys, there's no reason to base with 800 gold for those things. Especially when you're facing a Fiddlesticks, a Seraphine, and an Orianna. Merc treads are the order of the day. Yes, the Fiora is an AD attacker. Yes, so is Tristana, but you can buy armor and Warden's Mail for that. Better to have Merc treads so you can actually move. Now in this situation, we can keep sequencing down and then try and do something bottom lane, and if there's nothing, we can counter jungle or we can do the dragon. Who knows what happens? You know, especially with Fiddlesticks ulting the top lane. If he is ulting the top lane, you can just go ahead and do the dragon if you think you can do it, if you have the prio in the winning lanes. You got a really fed Ashe. So if Fiddlesticks is ulting top lane, cut through and gank the bottom lane. Gank the hell out of it. Play off of your Ashe's ult, right? But the Briar goes back to base too soon. Fiddlesticks is on the top side, right? Gets 3 ganks there. He didn't execute probably, but gets 3 ganks there. Bottom lane goes ahead and gets that kill. Look, he's not shooting this onto the Fiddle. And we're not going to results basis, because the Fiddle's decision to do this dragon is terrible. It's a stupid decision, and Briar does a good job rotating here, but she does press R and it required her mid laner to come first. So even though Briar's getting stuff here, don't let it mislead you into the fact that she's lucky. Because a mid lane won and a bot lane won. And when you're the Fiddlesticks, you can say, oh man, my laners are inting. Gosh darn it. You know, jungle gap is a myth because I did better and now my laners are shit. No, I mean, the Fiddle didn't do anything to impact the lanes at all, and Briar didn't either. The Briar got lucky because her laners won. So she gets the laner gap. Jungle difference is when you make the laner gap, even if you might not have it inherently. So if the red team's bottom lane and mid lane are going to lose automatically, and Fiddle ganks it, impacts it, and Briar does nothing, and now the Tristana and the Seraphine are fed, and the Orianna are fed, then the Fiddle is the jungle difference because he created that laner gap. But when neither jungler has impact, which is saw from the case in silver, what's happening is you're just coin flipping who has better laners, who queued up as a better play. The jungle is impactful because we can swing that to a large degree. Now I know that even if you feed the Aatrox, you might still end and lose to the Fiora. I understand these things. But the point is you will be fed then, so you can take your lead to other lanes. It's unlikely you are fed as a jungler, suppress the enemy jungler, gank every lane, get the objectives, and you don't win the game. It's very unlikely unless you have zero idea what a turret is, never hit it, and just run it down to lose, right? And even if you get your Aatrox fed and he then dies, right? He then dies top lane over and over again. If you fed mid and bot lane, they'll carry the game with you. You know, you can deal with that. So the Fiddle gets a kill on the bottom side. We get the objectives here, which is great. I think the Briar getting some kills is awesome, but the bottom lane honestly just solo winning by themselves. That's why I said, when the Briar does this early, you don't have to worry about the Fiddle because he's going the other direction. You remove the coin flip from the bottom lane. You guarantee that your Ashe and your Lux win. And now you can say, I did that. You would never know that they would win by themselves. So you can honestly be happy that they're running away with your lead that you gave them. That's a good thing. Rather than, oh, God, my bottom lane's winning without me and without Fiddlesticks. Whew, that's great. But what if Fiddlesticks, like the Volibear's game, ganked it and won it? The Draven was running it down because he was outskilled. He was probably going to lose the lane anyway, but Volibear guaranteed it. Volibear shut them down and guaranteed that his bottom lane would win. He didn't leave it to coin flip in case they make a mistake and Draven gets fed, which is what the Viego did, the Briar did, and the Fiddle did. So credit to the Volibear for actually doing that. Ult goes through here. We miss it on a standing still champion. That is definitely a big problem. Yeah. Orianna comes with her ultimate here. And now we're going to try and kill the Fiddlesticks through the sucky. We should be able to get that bleed damage, plus another proc and auto. We do have E up as well. See, now she's fed. You know, she got Tiamat. She's building this thing, the tunneler, which is just weird. Fiora's super strong, though. We got to be careful. Oh, and super strong is a quite, you know. I guess I thought she would be stronger than she is, honestly. And now the Briar leaves. You know, she leaves. They're hitting plates. They're using the mites. They're sieging a little bit. And if he has no mana, you really don't want to worry too much about the situation. I'm a little bit in between. I would like to feel strong enough to hang around here and get plates. But if you truly feel like their team is rotating and you should leave, please do so. Your bottom lane is shoving nicely. And we can always roll with that. So gold per minute, econ per minute. Keep that stuff going. Back to base. Well, Ashe has 10 kills, but she's also got 5 deaths, no? Inivia. Stun on Seraphine. Sucky. Here we go. Now Briar's like, yes, I'm jungle better. I'm better jungler. But, I mean, Fiddle, in his defense, is 3-2-1. She's 4-1-0. Same CS, really. It's just a case of involvement. If laners are getting this fed, and they will get this fed in this elo range, mostly because people are learning the game. No one here is experienced. No one in silver can be like, you know, I've been here 1,000 games and you're a newbie. I know more than you. If you did, you wouldn't be silver anymore. That's why we're here, right? To just talk about these things. But the biggest thing is, for me, activity on the map is just always low. Which is why the silver course is something I really do recommend. It's powerful. Should upload the gameplay update for Season 14 by the end of March on every course. That's when I'll do it all at the same time. So, excited for that. Because all the fundamentals are good, you know, but they changed the map. So you just got to make sure that you give context for Season 14 for the changes that do happen. And while we were talking about that, the Seraphine dies again. The Tristana decides to go in again. Misses the hippity hoppity, gets rooted, and dies as well. So this game is the opposite of the other game, where, well, I can see the timeline. I think you're seeing where this is going, 47 to 15. This was one-sided for a different reason. No one ran it down. There was just a skill issue, but junglers were not a big part of this game. As I could honestly say in most Silver games, so hopefully that resonates with you, and hopefully I'll see you on Virkayu.gg. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, I'll see you all in the next one.